Hello there everybody, welcome to one more video here on the channel, and today we're going to talk about some elements regarding emotional intelligence. So in this video specifically, I want to talk about how to approach repetitive, painful situations and obstacles. So what do you do when an obstacle comes up in your life and you feel like you're lost or you're just, sick of the pain? How do you transform this into something useful? So if you're interested in more topics like this, then click on the link in the description of this video, because we learn about a lot of emotional intelligence issues in the Inner Mastery Lab. If you want to get to know more about the program, just take a look at the link. All right, so first and foremost, it's essential for us to be able to transform painful situations into useful situations, because if you can't do that, then you're just going to feel like helpless and also hopeless, and like there's nothing you can do to find resolutions to difficult situations in your life. So pretty soon you're going to be feeling powerless, and maybe you might give up on even allowing yourself the bare minimum of the types of pleasure and the types of experience that you would actually like to have. So if you can't find the silver lining when everything is dark, then you might even start having symptoms of depression, or just feeling you might just feel stagnant in your life. You can't break free from repetitive patterns. Now the thing is, oftentimes when we feel powerless or like we're being punished by life and we can't figure out why we have to deal with the same repetitive situation, this is due to lack of actually knowing yourself. When we have that sensation that life is punishing us, it means that we can't see how we are responsible for co-creating with life and for generating that situation. The situations that we face are not random. They are being generated by very repetitive thoughts of ours and very repetitive attitudes. So if you keep seeing yourself, for example, you always attract toxic people to have relationships with, there is something inside of you and in the way that you behave, and it's probably that you had you're used to not having your needs be heard or met, and maybe this is something you learned in childhood. So if this is your repetitive pain, you're not being punished by life. It's repetitive because there is a lesson that you have not learned, and life is going to keep generating these repetitive experiences until you can identify that lesson. So you see, once you start looking for the lesson and not just feeling punished, then you have an opportunity to really feel empowered. You start noticing how you generate that situation. You don't feel like such a victim. It might even, make you feel kind of ashamed or guilty or weak. Oftentimes, when we can finally see our patterns clearly, we want to punish ourselves because we think we should be strong enough, or we should be better, or we should have known better, or we should be, more disciplined, more intelligent, more this, more that. And we have a hard time accepting that we could actually be generating those repetitive situations. Now, rather than just punishing ourselves, it's a lot more intelligent to look for the lesson that we haven't learned. So let's take that example of you always attracting toxic relationships. When you calm yourself down and you do some of your inner work and you reflect on the situation and you just ask yourself, what's the lesson here? You might figure out that the lesson is you really need to learn some healthy boundaries, because you're never going to have healthy relationships at all until you can say no to people. And once you've identified the lesson, then you have an action plan. Now, your action plan is going to hurl you out of the position of being a victim, and it's going to actually make you be able to transform your situation somehow. Also, when you accept that there is an inherent intelligence in the ways that life makes you feel discomfort, right? And this intelligence can be regarded as kind of working like a game, like a video game. Life is designed to stimulate you to develop exactly the skills that are going to help you overcome these repetitive really painful situations. And if you understand that life is working with you, this is not only just going to help you not be a victim and take responsibility, but it's going to mend your relationship with life, because you understand that what you put out there in terms of thoughts and attitudes, life has actually got your back, and she will indeed start giving you new experiences as soon as you start having new thoughts and new behavior. Now, for example, the way that you can find what lesson you need to learn, right? Now, this is also useful because the pain that you're feeling starts making sense. It starts having a purpose. You're not just feeling pain because life wants to punish you. You're feeling pain because this is part of a mechanism that your psyche has that serves the purpose of drawing your attention towards something that really needs for you to give it some attention, right? And the other way that this is going to lessen your pain is that oftentimes these repetitive situations, they kind of make us feel really confused about why that's happening or what's going on. And when you get down to finally being able to extract the lesson, like for example, in the situation that I mentioned about toxic relationships, the lesson is learning how to establish healthy boundaries. Once you can finally pinpoint what the lesson is, it's basically going to point you in one of two directions. The first direction is you need to learn how to accept something you can't change. So maybe, for example, you've found out that your parents are pathological narcissists, or there's some sort of family secret that you're having a hard time accepting. But what the lesson is for you in this particular situation is learning how to accept what you cannot change. So that's one road you can go down, but the other road you can go down is having to act. Now, when you can finally figure out why you're having those repetitive situations and what the lesson is, and you understand that it's not a matter of just accepting something you can't change, that the situation actually requires active participation on your part, then you either act or you will bear the consequences. And the consequences are going to be feeling anxious and feeling out of control. This is how taking all of the pain that you are facing and transforming it into lessons, into healthy challenges where you get to develop exactly the skills that are going to make the repetitive situations stop. This is how we develop. This is one way that we develop emotional intelligence, because we can actually generate solutions to our painful problems. So I have 4 questions to ask you. And if you feel comfortable, you can answer the questions in the comments below. What is the question? The first question is, what is the repetitive challenge or the repetitive pain that you've been experiencing? What is it that you're dealing with right now? 2, what's the lesson? Stop and really think about this. Ask yourself, what is it that I need to learn in order to stop, being also responsible for generating this repetitive situation? So that's number 2. What's the lesson? Number 3, is it a situation of having to accept something, or is it a situation of having to act? Now, I want you to really be clear on what sort of attitude this lesson is demanding from you. Do you have to accept something, or do you have to act? And the 4th question is, regardless of whether you have to accept something or act, how are you going to do this? So write the answers in the comments below. What is your challenge? What's the lesson you have to learn? Is it a matter of accepting something that you can't change, or acting on something that you can change? And regardless of which situation it is, how are you going to do this? All right, ladies and gents, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, then please like it, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell sign so you can get notifications about when I put out a video. Answer the questions in the comments below. I get super curious about your guys' answers. And that's it. See you around.